Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. This is your 2022 year ahead forecast. And let me tell you something. You guys of all the signs have one of the sweeter deals in 2022. I'm going to call this your year of deeper purpose. And you're going to really open up into a sense of where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing in your life, with your life in 2022. Now, before I go ahead and tell you all the great details of that, this is a short 15-minute public YouTube teaser for a longer 60 to 75-minute video that you can purchase from me, description box below, a la carte, sign by sign, based on your rising sun or moon, or buy the whole bundle and share it with friends and family so you can capture everybody's rising sign and moon. And you can find the links to that in the description box below. So let's get talking about this sky for you guys. And I'm going to give you what I think right now are a couple of the highlights for 2022, and then we'll go into all of the planets and all of the twists and turns in the longer video. Number one. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all of that. Please help my channel grow. I would really appreciate that. Okay, so number one, you guys are getting sweet energy from the eclipse cycle. That is a good thing. The North and South Node eclipse cycle is going to be sextiling and trining your rising sign, sending harmonious flowing waves of change your way. And from very sweet axis in your chart, the axis of two very fortunate and lucky houses, the 11th house, of karmic rewards and great gains from your career and your hopes, dreams, and wishes. And the fifth house, the house of good fortune, which can have money, luck, and financial gain as well. And also just feeling like you're feeling joy, like fifth house is joy and fertility and the muse. And there's a lot of change happening on that axis of 5-11, but it's flowing in a nice sextile trine way to the house of your identity. So rather than being tossed and turned on the eclipse wave, rather than feeling like you're on a ship that's bumping through a turbulent ocean, the Cancers of the world will enjoy this ride. Okay. Now, second of all, here's my magic genie in a bottle there. That's a lamp behind me. Second of all, I want you to know, I'm going to try to make sure that lamp doesn't, unless, there we go. Sorry, guys, I can't fix it. Oh my goodness. Okay. And what else? Okay. And also I want you to know that, you're having a long, rare Venus transit through your 7th house of relationship to spouse, business partners, and significant others. And this can also be your marketplace or your audience. It's the 10th house from the 10th house of career. So it's where your career goes very visible in the world. So you'll find things like celebrity and fame and breakthroughs in your career if you need to be in the public eye for your career in that 7th house. And that's where Venus, Capricorn's 7th house, is traveling November the 5th all the way till March the 6th, 2022, November 21 to March of 22. And in that window of time, so the first couple of months basically of 22, you still have a continuation of a very rare 4-month transit of Venus, the goddess of love, art, beauty, and money, through your 7th house of marketplace, audience, client, other, and business partnership. And the last time she went through this chunk of real estate in your sky was back in winter, December of 2013 through to the first 3 or 4 months of 2014. You might want to go back and ponder what was happening in your life back then that may in some way be ready to replay again in this year ahead. But certainly in the very beginning of the year, she's really toning the first 2 months of 2022 for you, Cancer, Sun, and Moon, and Rising sign. Now, this is a little bit more accurate, as always, for the rising sign. I always encourage you to look at your rising sign first, but your sun and moon are useful as well, especially if you're born at night. Use the moon, and born in the day, the sun can be quite helpful. Now, I think I'm going to go a little bit more into this Venus story before we move on to the teaser piece around the eclipses. So one thing I want you to understand is that Venus is a benefic, and she is always trying her best to bring, like Jupiter, positive, good outcomes to wherever she goes. During her travels through your 7th house, she will retrograde between the 19th of the month of December, so just before the year starts, till the end of January, January 29th. And unlike a malefic planet or a difficult planet, when she's retrograde, it's not always so bad. Okay, she's not retrograding to cause us grief. She's going to go into a kind of deeper dive or digging into something to either even more so improve our lives. Now, you guys might find that this is a time in your primary love relationship with somebody like your partner, right? Your husband, your spouse, whatever, where you're going to dig in and fortify the relationship and really make it strong. Or I'm going to say, if it's not worth saving and there's a primary significant marriage slash love relationship in your life that you're ready to let go of, then you might just do that as well. I don't want you to think about this as an either or. It can be an and. I mean, Venus might say, let's let go of this relationship for a sabbatical and we'll come back to it a bit later and see if it's worth it. But I will say that changes that Venus can bring as the goddess of love while she travels through the 7th house can, especially when she's there for 4 months, can be to deepen and strengthen our existing relationship, to bring it to the new level from, dating to committed, from committed to moving in, from moving into engaged, from engaged to married. But if the relationship's not worth your effort, she's always asking you, what do you value? What is worth your energy? What do you really desire? And if this is a relationship that doesn't go the distance or won't go the distance, under Venus's opinion, you might find it coming to an end. Now, she would bring harmonious closure and harmonious endings. Okay. Now, if you're in the world of business partnering or doing online things or putting stuff into the public eye, she's giving you diva status. You Cancers rising especially can be very successful in pushing stuff into the world, into the online world, into the social media world, into the, world of publications and publicity and promotion, and advertising. She rules those things. And the 7th house is the marketplace. You could find yourself really doing well during those 4 months. I really want you to think about the fact that this is going to be an auspicious window of time that you're not going to get for another 18 years. Now, on January the 8th, she'll stop at the heart of the sun to die and be reborn again. And she's going to come into her birth as a morning star from the evening. So she's going to come out the other end after January 8th's rebirth with more chutzpah, more juice and stuff. And she won't be visible right away, but I want you to get the idea here that she's coming into the heart of the sun. Is called a Venus star point on January the 8th. And this is a real reset as well for you in all matters, relationship and 7th house. Go back to 2013, 14 and ask yourself what new relationships started and what ones may have ended in your business and love partnerships back then. Or if you had a splash of celebrity in the larger social spheres. Now, I do believe her star point, if I remember, is around 18, 19 of Capricorn. And if your descendant is at 18 or 19 of Capricorn, which means, of course, your ascendant's at 18, 19 Capricorn, let's flank that a little bit, okay? If you have your ascendant descendant axis between the 15th degree to the 21st degree of Capricorn, or of course your ascendant's Cancer, that axis, and if the Venus star point is near that axis of your ascendant descendant, this is an especially powerful reset for you. Now, all Cancer risings will feel this. And when I say the 15th to the 21st degree of Capricorn, then this will apply to anybody who's listening to this who has their sun or moon or ascendant between 15 to 18 degrees, 15 to 21 degrees of Cancer. You'll really feel this Venus reset button, really feel it strongly, because she's going to land on, and sort of think of the ascendant descendant like a guitar string. She's going to strum it, from the other side, from the side of romantic love. If you are alone and you've been wanting to be in relationship and you've been hoping to meet somebody, Venus can definitely call that in for you, calling in a big love, the love that you can commit to. So you've got, in January, February, into the first week of March, this possibility. While she's retrograde until January 29th, you might go back over some of your old love stories and really dig in and ask yourself, what went wrong? What was your responsibility? Did you do 50% of your 100%? Did you do 100% of your 50%? Or did you overfunction? Were you with somebody that wasn't your type? Retrograde Venus in the 7th house also can bring back old relationships that have been gone and dead and buried, and they may come back out of the closet and be so old lovers, old boyfriends, old husbands, old committed love stories, people that you were with before, might show their face again for you, all right, in that window of time. So November, December, 21, January, February. So you're going to be listening to this in January. So if it's already happened, you'll know what I mean. If that's the case and an old love comes back to you during this time, I think I would go for it. I think Venus is always trying to do something good. And in the 7th house, she wants the relationship to stick, especially Capricorn, right? You Cancers are coded to try to find enduring, lasting, stickable love. Okay, they're not the players of the zodiac. You're not the types to be frivolous and flirty and just have sex fun. You want a relationship that lasts, and hopefully this is going to happen for you in 22. Or an existing one gets stronger, or one that's dead in the water already. Venus will help you get rid of it to make room for better and bigger and sweeter things. Now, I'm going to touch on the eclipses in this teaser as well. There's so much else going on in your sky this year, but I think that to touch on the eclipses could be useful. The eclipses are swimming through two different corridors. They're just starting to heat up in the fall of 21, and this will last until May of 23, which is called the Scorpio and Taurus axis of the chart. Now, everyone has these happening in the sky at once. Every sign is experiencing them, but for you guys, Taurus is your 11th house, and so you're a lot of juice there. And the 5th house is the Scorpio axis of your chart. Now, this is a water trine from the South Node eclipses, right? In your 5th house of children, pregnancy, fertility, the muse, inspiration, and romance. And because it's a South Node, it can also indicate letting go, like letting go of overly attached helicoptering your children, letting go of, just frivolous fun and play, letting go of, certain things that may have mattered to you, creative projects and muse-inspired endeavors. Even independent businesses are 5th house things. And a South Node journey for a lot of Cancers is saying it's time to let go of that business you created, that child that you coddled, that relationship that no longer works, romantic relationship, but not necessarily will endure. And it's time to soften up there. And the North Node, on the other hand, in a sextile to your ascendant, is saying lean into your 11th house. This is where we're going to grow a bit. This is where you're going to find some new inspiration and juice. Now, that is the house of keeping your dreams alive, your truest hopes, what you wish for. If you had a fairy godmother or a genie in the bottle and they were giving you wishes, those would come out of the 11th house energy. The 11th house also feeds the 10th. In other words, it's where you get the financial gain that from all your 10th house career, hard work, energetically, public, your ambition, your success, your reputation, your hard work in the world. And all the financial gain and the promotions and the fame and stuff that can come from that 10th house show up in the 11th. And the 11th is a house of, therefore, of great gains, or sometimes also called the house of karmic reward. If you are in the place where you've been working really hard in a career or career path, some financial and other gains are going to start showing up during this eclipse cycle. And you may expand your social circles and your influence circles as well. And when I say influence circles, what I mean is that the 11th house is like groups of belonging, tribes of belonging. You want to belong to a larger group. They want you to belong with them. It's a house of movements and movement makers. If you are stale in your belonging groups and it's time to form new ones, the North Node will bring you entirely new crews of people that you will be in connection with. So this can be by shared belief, ideals, goals, etc. That's different than connections we make, say, in the 3rd house, which are local neighborhood connections, or the 7th house, our primary love connections or our one-on-one clients. The 11th energy is like, it's a big energy. Okay. It's like connecting with a lot of people. So people who do social media outreach and stuff like that, the groups of people they create by doing that, like the larger social circles they command, are part of that 11th house. So there's a lot of energy up there for you guys. And it's a house of luck as well. It's like kind of a pennies from heaven vibe. And you could have sudden financial gain from inheritances. This is pulling money. The 11th can pull money from the 8th house, inheritances, grants, tax rebates, your spouse's money, business partnership money, royalty income, membership fees, investment monies. You can get some great financial gain. A lot of Cancer rising sun and moon folk in that window of time of the eclipse cycle that's starting out fall of 21 to the spring of 2020. Summer, May of 2023. It's a long cycle. Now, I'm going to pick a couple of the eclipses to talk about for you. Energetically, I really want to highlight them. I think I'm going to stick with one at this point, and that is the eclipse. If you want my eclipse reading, you can get that. Check the description link below for the whole eclipse cycle the next year and a half. Okay, so the April the 30th eclipse is happening in Taurus. And right after that, there's going to be a conjunction of that North Node in your 11th house in June, July, August. There's kind of a time, most precise around July 27th, when the North Node is going to connect with Uranus in your 11th house, a god of sudden, unexpected, radical thunderbolts of change. And that can be a very exciting change for you, because the eclipse that starts out before that on April 30th at 10 degrees of Taurus in your 11th house is a really luscious eclipse, and it's happening in the sky in concert with a very beautiful and rare triple conjunction in the sign of Pisces of Neptune in his modern dignity, Jupiter in his ancient dignity. He loves Pisces, right? It's a seaside home, and Venus in her exaltation sign, all three of them holding hands the same day of the eclipse, April 30th, in your 9th house of Dharma, the purpose and meaning of your life, and in a broad sextile to the actual eclipse itself. So exciting things are starting to pick up for you because of these energies, especially after that particularly stimulating eclipse on the 30th of April, knowing that by July, we've got Uranus and the North Node coming together. Eclipses can take 6 months to show their hand. This is a North Node solar eclipse on April 30th, bringing new beginnings and new changes in your 11th house. This can be the change up of a whole bunch of groups of people, or a longer time associate, acquaintanceship, or friendship coming to a close, or new stuff is coming to new beginnings in that corridor. But if you're talking about the money luck piece, because you know the eclipse cycle going through the 11th, 5th house axes activates the money axis of your chart, the 2nd and the 8th in a square. You could look at this as a very sudden, unexpected, and positive financial gain development that's coming for you sometime between April 30th and November 2022. But maybe with that shock and awe vibe around the 27th of July, and you want to flank that by at least 2 weeks on either side. So mid-July to mid-August is exceedingly exciting for you, okay? Now, the reason I said in the very beginning of this teaser video that you're having this energy of your true calling or purpose activated is that's because of Jupiter going through the 9th house. Now, I am going to go into a lot of detail about what Jupiter is doing for you in the remainder of this video, but in a very light touch right now, I will say this. Once every 12 years, Jupiter helps you get a new handle on what the meaning of your life is, you know, why you are here, the path you're here to walk. And this is this time for you in 2022. And because of that, you're going to find things that Jupiter cares about elevating in your focal point. Like he cares about truth. Truth will be important, especially in the 9th house. He handles court cases really well. He cares about fairness and justice. And the 9th house is court cases. A lot of, if you're a Cancer dealing with any kind of court battle, this is Jupiter saying we're going to win in 22. If you're dealing with foreign shores and lands and trips to foreign lands, or people from foreign cultures, or the word international, Jupiter expands all of that for you in 22. And finally, it is also the house of book publishing, spirituality, and religion. Those also get expanded. And last but not least, campuses and colleges and higher education plus. You know, if you want to learn something in depth, it takes more time than just a weekend workshop. Like you want to take a mentorship program or a longer term course. Like I studied Hellenistic astrology in 2018 with my teacher at Nightlight Astrology at Tuta Baba. That was a year-long course. That would be a 9th house education, because even though it's skills-based, like a 3rd house thing, learning astrology, the duration of the course required a test, you get a certificate and all of that. It's just like a university. So a lot of you Cancers during 222, in service of purpose and true calling and Dharma and the meaning of your life, may go back to learn something. And if you're in the, study something in depth, and if you're a book publishing type, a Cancer who's a writer, who's, wanting to get a book off the ground, this can be great breakthroughs in getting an editor, an agent, a contract, or if it's already out there, it could get very popular. So those are exciting developments for Cancer in 222. There's so much more. We have to talk a lot about what the heck that Saturn is doing in your 8th house of money, and what we definitely really want to dig into Mars and his high-powered action as he has started a whole new section of your chart in terms of his heliacal rising that's going to totally amplify your creative energies in 22 and 23. So what I'm going to do is complete this little teaser video. I hope you got something from this if you're listening on YouTube. And if you want to get the whole hour to hour and 15-minute version of this that goes past where we are right now, please just check the description box below and grab your sign, the Cancer a la carte or the All Signs bundle. Which is kind of fun because then you can look at your sun and your moon, and it's such a deal to get sun, moon, and rising, to get the bundle and have all three. And then of course you can share with your friends and family, and you can also check your children's rising sign, etc. All right. So anything else I want to say? No, I think that's about it. A gentle reminder to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check everything I always have going on in my description box below, including signing up for my weekly forecast newsletter, Cosmic Moonshine, a swig of weekly astrology news, because if you do, you get a 30% discount code immediately from me to use with any reading with me. One-time use, you get entered into a monthly draw for a free reading, and you get a free course I taught called Annual Perfection. So just by signing up, you get a lot of goodies. Thanks, guys. Cancers, I'm excited for you. Get ready for an amazing, purposeful, and lovely energy for you guys in positive change in 2022. Weeks, guys, I almost forgot, everybody gets a draw from the animal spirit card deck. And if you get the whole thing and you buy the rest of it, you get a second draw for the year from this incredible deck here. The animals. Okay, so let's start off with that. I mean, finish off with that. Sorry, guys, I almost ripped you off. Let me grab my book. You're gonna see that I'm sitting here in my sweatpants. All right, like Zoom, you only get to see me from the waist up. Okay. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. Look at that, just belched for you. I'm not even gonna fix this recording, guys. There's no way. All right, so the Animal Spirit book from Kim Kranz is what we're doing, Animal Spirit Guidebook. What is your totem animal in 2022? Let's go ahead and take a look. I think I'm going really long for your teaser, guys, which just makes the other signs jealous, I'm sure. Okay, let me just fan the cards over here and see what I get for it. Your card is the elk. Ooh, I love this image. Do you? There's an elk with this gorgeous sun in the background, like a black sun. Okay, let's see what Kim Kranz says for you about elk energy in 2022 being one of your guiding totem animals. Yay, elk. Let me go for it. I'm just looking. There's a lot of non-alphabetically oriented cards in here, so you have to bear with me, okay? Sorry about that. I know it's in here somewhere. Horse, crocodile, no. There's no way I can cue it because I don't do it before I'm actually recording. So you'll have to definitely be patient while I get the elk energy for you guys. There. Oh, yeah, it's an earth sign. Sorry. So elk is an earth sign, like rabbit and raccoon and fox. Give me a minute. For some reason, it's just not easily. Here we are. Stable. Elk is about being in 22, you Cancer, stable, resilient, headstrong, and is archetypally connected to the father. Luke, I am your father. The great elk represents the earth's element at its masculine form. This means they provide an underlying support and stability amidst life's many changes. The elk personality, whether male or female, is established in themselves fully and knows their core values. Because they're known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values, sometimes the elk's eye can become inflated. Oh, his ego, not his eye. The elk's ego could become inflated. But for the most part, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. So in 22, when you're in balance, you are supportive, you are kind, and you are consistent. And when you're out of balance, you are pretentious, you are high, and you are mighty. And to bring yourself into balance, Cancers, in 22, eat and drink more consciously. Yeah, it's always good for a pleasure-loving Cancer to do that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do the rest of the video.